It's time for a HBO Max movie discussion. Hey, it's me AP, and welcome to the Saturday Movie Show, everyone. I hope you're all having a lovely Saturday today. It is a bit warmer here in the UK today. Thankfully, it's a better Saturday than the past couple of weeks. It is a much better, nicer weather. Let me just fix my mic here, folks. That's a bit better. It's a bit more central to my mouth. So yeah, it is Saturday, and yeah, it's a nice Saturday. And today, I'm going to be discussing on the Saturday Movie Show upcoming HBO Max movies, and I'm going to be discussing two movies specifically, and those movies are the upcoming Justice League Snyder Cut and the Mortal Kombat movie. Two movies I am now very excited to see, and I'm very excited because of the two recent trailers that have dropped this week. So we've had two different trailers. We've had the new latest trailer for the Justice League Snyder Cut, which is the movie is going to be coming out March 18th on HBO Max and to theaters the same day. And we've had the first look really at Mortal Kombat, a movie that I didn't know that I wanted, but wow, I'm looking forward to seeing Mortal Kombat. Now, that is due out April 18th, again on HBO Max. Two HBO Max movies. Two movies now I think are going to be really, really good, cool, amazing watches for us all. So, first off, let's start with Mortal Kombat. So, Mortal Kombat, the new trailer for the new movie, it's a reboot, they're calling it, of the Mortal Kombat franchise of movies. It dropped this week, and it's about a 2-minute trailer, and it was a really good trailer. First of all, it feels like Mortal Kombat is a movie that has went under my radar. It's I knew they were working on it, but it didn't really. I didn't pay attention to it, and I imagine there's a lot of us out there who just like think, oh, it's just another one of these video game movies, like another Street Fighter or another one of these fighter movies that is getting created, and it's just going to be a B-rated movie. But this trailer that came out this week looks really good. It looks a really good adaptation of Mortal Kombat. It looks very, very dark in tone. I know a lot of movies say it looks like a Dark Knighty tone to it. It's a very dark. Like when they released the Power Rangers movie, the directors were saying it's going with like that Dark Knight sort of feel, and I think you can throw that term around a lot. It's like the comparison of anything, but it does look like a very dark movie, very set in a very realistic world somewhat. There's a lot of realism to it, but again, it's got a load of these fantasy fighting elements to it as well. So I think that maybe they're trying to ground it somewhat into reality and make a realistic tone to the Mortal Kombat franchise in a way, if you can, matching it with that fantasy element. But let's get to the trailer. The trailer looked great. I really enjoyed the trailer. I've watched it about 3 or 4 times. I know that I'm going to enjoy this movie. I hope I'm going to enjoy it because I've watched it 3 or 4 times because I enjoyed the trailer that much. The last time I watched a trailer that much would have been like The Force Awakens. I really enjoyed the trailer for that movie when that came out. But this movie, what we're being told is, first of all, I think the directors came out this week and he said Sub-Zero's the guy who is like shoots out ice. He's like the master of ice or whatever you want to call him. We're being told that he is the main antagonist, the main villain of the Mortal Kombat movie that's coming out in April. So this is a bit of a change around, first of all, because if I remember rightly, I remember watching the 90s one a long time ago. I've not watched it in recent years. I want to watch it now. I'm going to probably watch it this week just to recap on the movie. But if I remember rightly, and from the video games, Sub-Zero is more of like a good guy character. So they're now setting him up in this movie, and they've said that he's going to be the main villain. So it's a bit of an interesting change of character, really, for him. Maybe I've been looking into the research. I've been doing a bit of research this week. So basically, there have been. First of all, I'm not I'm not a massive, like, I'm not up on all Mortal Kombat. I've only played the odd few games. I'm not up on all like the lore of Mortal Kombat. So, hey, look, I'm sure a lot of you out there probably know a lot more about it, but this is what I've read this week and sort of getting a grasp of this in anticipation for this movie coming out. So, basically, Sub-Zero within the video games has been played by two characters. So, two different characters have taken on that mantle of Sub-Zero. And it is by two brothers. I think it's Bihan and I can't remember the other character, but Bihan is more of this evil version of Sub-Zero, and he is a more violent version of Sub-Zero, and that is the version we're going to be getting in the movie. So it is going to be that character Bihan. I'm most likely butchering that name, but he is going to be the Sub-Zero we see within the Mortal Kombat movie that's getting released. So it goes to say, what is going to happen? Are we going to get this evil incarnation of Sub-Zero, and then in a later point in the movie, we see his brother, or we see someone else take on that mantle, and then Sub-Zero at some point becomes a good guy? Are we going to see him transition, and at the end he has a moment of, a turnaround moment where he decides that he should no longer be the villain and he becomes a good guy? It's going to be interesting because Scorpion is the guy in yellow. The guy in yellow. I've got Mortal Kombat fans around the world now going, the guy in yellow, is that the way you describe Scorpion? Yeah, I'm just describing, just so you can see the visualization. I'm visualizing it in my mind as well as yours. So Scorpion is more of like the villainous one normally, and it seems like maybe Scorpion is he's going to be resurrected, or he's going to be like rebirthed into this, and we're going to sort of see the origin of the Scorpion character in this movie. And I think Scorpion is going to be more of a secondary villain in this. I don't think Scorpion's going to be the turnaround, and I don't think they're going to flip it, having Sub-Zero as as the villain and Scorpion as the hero. I think you're going to have two villains here, and it's going to be two villains taking on each other. And they've sort of said this is a movie. It's a movie of Sub-Zero versus Scorpion throughout this movie, and then you've got like the Mortal Kombat tournament going on as well, because you've got all your regular Mortal Kombat characters in there. The only omission we've not had is Johnny Cage. He's not featured in this movie. The character that was inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme, he is not featuring in this movie at this moment in time. Look, we might get a case where we get someone else turn up and turns out to be that character of Johnny Cage. And this is a new segment I want to introduce today. I'm sure I'd love to include this segment again at a later point, but the segment is, who is Cole Young? Dum dum dum. That's right. So there's a new character, a new original character that is going to feature within this movie, and the character's name is Cole Young. He is, the way he is shown in this, and the way he's been described, he is an MMA fighter, mixed martial arts fighter. And you see him in the trailer, he's fighting in like an octagon type ring training. So he then gets the mark of the dragon, the Mortal Kombat symbol. And basically it sets it up in the trailer like that Sonya Blade is talking to him and saying, we met this guy like 6 or 7 years ago, Sub-Zero, in Brazil. And that's when is it Jax? He gets his arms cut off by Sub-Zero, but he has that Mortal Kombat symbol on. Now, in the trailer, though, it shows this character, Cole Young, again, a totally original character created for this movie, or so we're led to believe at this moment in time. He has yellow gloves on, so it shows in the trailer, like, there's a shot of him just like this, and he's looking down at his hands, and he's got yellow sort of like bandages, like gloves, like the UFC fighters have or boxers have on. They have like these bandages, and the yellow. Now, is this just a something to throw us off? Is this to make us think, oh, this guy, maybe this guy turns out to be Scorpion or some sort of connection to Scorpion? Maybe he is the second Scorpion. Who knows? But I feel like there's something there. I think there's gonna be some sort of like reveal throughout this movie, or maybe at the end of the movie, that Cole Young isn't Cole Young. He is someone else, or he becomes someone else. So the question is, who does he become? Well, first of all, is he just Cole Young? Who is Cole Young? Is he just Cole Young? Is he just a completely new character that they wanted to create for the movie, and they wanted to just create someone new for the franchise? He could possibly just be that. He could just be a new character, an original character, and a character that then goes on to feature in the video games, in future video games and movies if they do more sequels to this. Or is he Scorpion? Or is he Sub-Zero? I don't think he's going to be Johnny Cage. I just don't feel like he's Johnny Cage. I think if anything, they'll keep that character for like a second movie. But I think the bets are on to see whether he becomes Sub-Zero or Scorpion. And I was watching a video by Emergency Awesome on YouTube this morning, and the way he described it is like he thinks he's like a descendant, some sort of relative of Scorpion. And I suppose again that goes in with the gloves, where I said where he's got the yellow gloves on. But I feel like he may be. When I initially watched the trailer, I thought he's going to be a new Sub-Zero, and I've been thinking this because, especially since they said Sub-Zero is the villain within the movie, and I feel like it's going to be the case where we get this villainous Sub-Zero first of all, and then at the end of the film, the villain, the evil version of Sub-Zero is killed, but then maybe he kills him, Cole Young, and then he takes on the mantle of Sub-Zero. So my bets at the moment are on, and I am saying that Cole Young, who is Cole Young, I am saying that he is going to be a version of Sub-Zero. That is my prediction at this moment in time. I'm more than entitled to change my prediction at a later date, but at this moment in time, this Saturday today on the Saturday Movie Show, I am predicting that Cole Young is Sub-Zero. But yeah, it looks amazing. I'm really looking forward to this movie. It's an R-rated movie. The trailer is pretty violent. It looks a really good adult adaptation of a video game series. It makes me want to now go and watch the original Mortal Kombat movie. I'm very excited to revisit that. And again, I didn't think it would be. I don't know what the budget is, but it looks like they've not really spared any expense here. It looks like they've really went all in, Warner Brothers and Uline, to create something that is going to be really cool here. Look, this could be just another one of these movies where it's just a one and done movie. We never get sequels. People have really got to get behind this film, especially now this year with it going straight to HBO Max and available cinemas the same day. But if this movie doesn't make, it's going to make less money. It's going to make less money because it's not going straight to the cinemas, and we're not in a normal type of environment, a normal year, a normal world at this moment in time. So it's not going to make as much money. So the only way this movie gets more sequels is if it grows a massive, big fan base. And still, even then, it's not promised a sequel. You look at like movies like Dread over the past few years. That's got a really good fan base. A lot of people like that movie, but still, we've not seen a sequel. So people have really got to like it straight away, and hopefully the subscriptions for HBO Max makes it profitable some way. And look, I just hope it's a good movie, first of all. I hope it's an enjoyable movie. From the trailer, it looks fun. It looks like a fun movie. It looks really something like I want to watch. I'm into like G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, anything like that. That's really just like a bit quirky, like these quirky team up movies, and it feels like a quirky team up. It's just something different, and I'm looking forward to it. And the best thing about it is, I didn't know I was looking forward to it. I didn't know I was looking forward to Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is the movie I am now most looking forward to this year. How weird's that? I never thought I'd say that. Next up, I want to talk about Justice League. So, the new Justice League trailer dropped this week, and at the end of it, we see Jared Leto as the Joker. And we had been teased this over the past couple of weeks by Zack Snyder, and I know last week we seen a few images of the Joker hit this new version of the Joker, Jared Leto's second turn in the role, and it's a lot different. It's a lot different from any Joker we've seen before. It is a lot different from the Joker we seen in the Suicide Squad movie. It is Jared Leto, long hair. It is his Joker is now set in this nightmare scenario, what we've seen in Batman versus Superman. So we see Batman, and we see who do we see? We see Batman. I can't remember the other character we see. I can't think of his name. We see Batman. We see another member of the Justice League. I can't remember who it was now. Anyway, we see them. See Batman. We see the Joker within this nightmare scenario, and we see them. It looks as though they're potentially teaming up in this, and this is intriguing because we've never seen this. So it's a future storyline. It's a future timeline. We've been told that Jared Leto only filmed a couple of minutes, so I'm not expecting a ton of scenes with Jared Leto. I think it's going to be very short, but it's cool. I think it's cool. But looking at this movie, Justice League, from this trailer, from the music, the look of it, it looks like a completely different movie from what we've seen originally, from the original Joss Whedon cut. It looks completely different. The aspect ratio in the trailers is like a squared ratio, and I believe I'm sure they're going to release it like that. I mean, I'm sure I've read somewhere that they are going to release that, but I think there's going to be options for you to watch it in different aspect ratios as well. But it looks a completely different movie. It doesn't look anything like what I remember the Justice League movie. I enjoyed it, as I said. I've said it many a times. The Justice League, for what it was, I enjoyed it. There were certain bits I felt looked a bit cheap. I think when you could see the obvious reshoots, like scenes when it was like Batman and Aquaman talking, you could see the scenes what were shot originally, and then you could see the scenes that were shot as extra ones in behind a green screen. Same with Barry Allen. There was a lot of scenes like that where his hair would change in certain scenes, and you could obviously see where the extra material Joss Whedon was thrown in. But I'm looking forward to it. I like the original for what it was, but I think this is going to be more up my street. It's going to be more because I'm a big Zack Snyder fan. I liked Man of Steel. I liked Batman vs Superman. I think it's going to be a really good payoff, and I think we're all going to be excited. I listened to the Junkie XL song that he released from the soundtrack this week, and it was called "The Crew at War Power," and it really is cool. It's a really cool sound. It didn't sound like any of the other songs, or it wasn't like a interpretation of any of the other material he's put out previously on the other movies. Very different from Danny Elfman's soundtrack, what was put on the original Justice League cut, what featured like the original Batman song from the 1989 Batman and the Superman John Williams theme. Very, very different. It's going to be a very different film, but look, I think we're super lucky that we're getting all these different cuts. We're getting a Zack Snyder cut. Who would have thought this would have happened? It is exciting, and I think we can just all be super pleased with ourselves and super pleased that we're getting this as fans. And I, as a fan of Zack Snyder, as a fan of the Justice League and comic book movies, superhero movies, I am very excited for this movie, and I can't wait till it comes around. March 18th, it is on my calendar, and I cannot wait. So, what has been on my screens this week? Let's see, what have I been watching this week? So, first of all, I have watched the recent episode of WandaVision. So, spoilers ahead, just to let you know, if you've not watched the recent episode, I don't want to spoil it for you. If you've not watched it, please turn off now or skip the podcast maybe like 5-10 minutes ahead if you really want to. But let's go for it. So spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the recent episode of WandaVision. What did I think? I enjoyed it. I was a bit disappointed that there wasn't a Reed Richards, John Krasinski cameo in this and introduction. I think a lot of fans were. I think we were all dreaming of seeing Reed Richards or just someone from the Fantastic Four in this, but it wasn't to be at this moment in time. Look, there's more episodes of WandaVision at this moment coming up, but it felt like a bit of a deflated moment. They were like talking about this engineer, and then we see Rambo go and meet this engineer, and they got like this big patroller cart that's going to go through the portal into Westview, and the engineer isn't Reed Richards. It's just like a soldier, and it really didn't feel like it clarified it as well. So like the character she's spoken to might not necessarily be the engineer as such. It wasn't like she wasn't referred to as the engineer. It's from what I watched, and maybe I was wrong. Maybe I misheard and I didn't see it. But I was really looking forward to this episode because I was really hoping that Reed Richards would feature, but he didn't. He didn't feature, but still, it was a good episode. It was a really fun episode. So we see this episode. It was more looking at like the sitcoms like Modern Family, and the intro to it. The intro actually reminded me more of The Office. The actual song felt more like The Office, the American Office, but the look of it was very much Modern Family. I think everyone could see that. I think they've mentioned that was the feel they were going for this particular one, the inspiration behind it. But it was different. It was a different episode again, and we see Monica Rambeau get her powers. She gets powers when she goes through the force field the second time to get into it. She develops her powers, and then she comes out, and her eyes are glowing, and she's obviously now got some sort of superpower. And I know she in the comics, I think she's played. Is it Pulsar in the comics? I might be wrong. Pulsar, I think it is. Who knows? We don't know. She could be playing a completely different superhero. We don't know what character she's going to take on, what superhero mantle she's going to take on. But I was watching this, and the one character I'm really enjoying the most is Monica Rambeau. I'm really enjoying her character, and I do hope they give her a series or feature her within a movie or give her a movie. I think she's a really cool character, and a character that I've just slowly started to enjoy even more so throughout the this series, and it's been fun to see her develop. But I mean Wanda as a villain, but we see at the end of this episode the reveal that Agnes is Agatha Harkness, this witch-like character, and she is in the comics. She's the wife of Mephisto, who's like the devil within the Marvel comics. So she is revealed as like the main villain of all this, and it's sort of like it shows like this montage of through all the eras, and it's just very glorifying that she is the villain, and you're never seeing this coming basically. But it sort of felt like we all knew this was coming in a way, but we didn't. I know I predicted that like Wanda was going to be the true villain, but it's sort of at it, and I suppose they played us and they've not played us. She's sort of been there at every point, and she seems like a character that something's going on with. And maybe the last episode, it put us off the scent a bit. It put me off the scent a bit, but then it's revealed that she's like a witch. The two boys, the two young lads, have gone missing down in the cellar. Wanda goes into the cellar. This is where the reveal takes place, and it's in like this sort of like dungeon sort of place. And there's like you see all like skulls and smoke everywhere, very dungeon-like. And yeah, so she's revealed as the villain, but I don't know. I feel like there's more to this. I don't think this is the end of it. Obviously, it's not the end because there's more episodes to come. So is she going to be just like a sub-villain, and is there going to be a main villain? I think there's most definitely going to be a main villain. Now, whether it is going to be Mephisto, who knows? But we keep on hearing this from Paul Bettany, who plays the Vision. He keeps on saying that there's an actor that he got to work with within this series that is still not happened. So it wasn't Quicksilver, it wasn't even Peters, it is another character, another actor that he's wanted to work with all his life, and he got to act with this person. We don't know if it's a man, we don't know if it's a woman. So who is it? Who is it going to be? And look, I feel like it's going to be Sir Ian McKellen. I really do. I think I might have mentioned this before. I feel like Sir Ian McKellen is going to feature within this. We've had Quicksilver as a brother. I feel like this show is all about family. Vision's her family, like her husband. She's got her kids. She wants a perfect family. She's had a bad life, Wanda. Her brother's died, and everything about this is all about her family. So I feel like we're going to get the end bit. We're going to see Magneto. I just feel like we are going to see Sir Ian McKellen's Magneto in this. I may be wrong, but that is what I think is going to happen. That is my theory. I think he will turn up, and it will be where Agatha Harkness brings him in the way she's brought in Quicksilver from the Fox universe and then manipulated his mind. But I think she's going to bring him in, and then maybe like Vision will help him realize who he truly is, and then they will all defeat Agatha and maybe Mephisto or whoever else she has alongside her. But I think Magneto is going to be coming to the rescue. The same way Quicksilver, I think Quicksilver is going to turn good in this. I don't think he's going to be evil, and I think he is from the Fox universe, and I think they will pull the Fox universe version of Ian McKellen Magneto. And it doesn't mean he has to feature as Magneto within the MCU. You can have multiple versions moving forward, but I think it'd be really cool just to see Sir Ian McKellen's Magneto brought into this show, because it is such a cool show now. I'm really enjoying this show. I didn't enjoy the first 3 episodes, but him in this show would be great, and I think it would be an actor that Paul Bettany is referring to when he talks about an actor he's wanted to work with for a long time. Sir Ian McKellen is a great actor. He's a beloved actor. He's an iconic actor, legendary actor. So it just feels like it's going to be that character, and I think that is what's going to happen. But we see in the end scene, Monica Rambeau, she opens up like this basement, and then next minute, Quicksilver turns up because he wasn't featured within this episode, and this is the post-credit scene or mid-credit scene, and then he turns up. So we're going to see, hopefully in the next one, a bit more of a team up between them, the 2 characters. Maybe we see a bit of a battle first of all, but then they team up to try and save Wanda. But she opens up this basement, and we sort of see like all these. It's obviously looks like it's leading to that dungeon, like another entrance to that dungeon. And we see all like these, it's like vines of a tree, but they're all like glowing blue vines, and they look like somewhat alien. So is this the place where she is dragging out all the different characters, like Quicksilver, even pieces from the multiverse? Is this sort of like the doorway to all the multiverse, or some parts of the multiverse, which she has some sort of a power here? Maybe like the magic that she's trying to take from Wanda within this sort of like this Westview, it's all going here, and now she has the power to then take people throughout the multiverse. I feel like that's going to be the case, and I think this next episode is just going to be more action. I think the next episode is going to be more and more action. We've seen a bit of action within this episode between Wanda and Monica. Not loads of it, but it feels like it's building up. It's building up, and they have said that it's like the end couple of episodes are going to be like full-on Marvel MCU action movies. So I think it's definitely moving forward, and it's moving really differently each episode. And what I'm starting to appreciate more now with this show is the different sitcom eras. And I didn't like the first 2 episodes. I made it clear on like doing the Saturday Movie Show. I didn't really enjoy the first 2 episodes. And I think it's just because I'm not really a big fan of them like black and white eras. I'm not brought up with that. I didn't watch a ton of movies from them eras as a kid. But it's made me watching the later eras, and especially the Modern Family era. It's weird. You're watching it. It's like the documenting the sitcoms of time, and you see how sitcoms have changed over time. And I think it's really interesting just to see how different eras of TV have changed, and how sitcoms have changed for the viewer over the years, and how they developed and how they're shown to us, and how sitcoms are, even now looking at Modern Family and The Office, that type of sitcom when they're like sort of like talking to the camera, it's like a film crew sort of thing idea. That even now seems outdated. It feels like we've gone into a different era now, and we're moving forward from that era, and it's really interesting to watch. I find it very interesting just to see them different eras, and I think they've really, really done a good job of showing these different eras of sitcoms and the way they were filmed and the way they were presented to us as viewers. So it is very, very cool. Let me grab a drink, guys. I just stole them. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'm on the water today. I'm on the water. So, what else have I been watching? I this week have watched Lord of the Rings, the 1978 animated movie, and wow. So, Lord of the Rings animated movie. If you've never watched it, what can I say? If you got intrigue, watch it. Give it a watch. See what you think. I remember owning this as a kid. I don't think I watched it, or I maybe watched little bits of it. So I had no memory of it. But I was watching it basically for an extra podcast I'm doing, and I'll mention that in a bit. But I watched this movie, and it is one of the worst movies I've ever watched. Really is. I just didn't enjoy it. What got it for me was the animation. The animation in it is bad, really, really bad. It's got like this really cool like Disney animation, but then it's mixed in with this like rotoscoping take on me aha style animation where it's like live actors mixed in with it, and it is some of the worst animation I've ever seen, and it really is off-putting to watch. And I think the movie as well is just so much crammed in. It's like two books, the first two Lord of the Rings books, thrown into this one movie, and it was not an enjoyable experience. So by the end of this movie, I thought, because I had to watch the movie because I wanted to just get a grasp of it. And by the end of it, I was reading a comic. I had like a comic out and reading this, and just had it on the background because it was just such a drag to watch. 2 hours, 2 hour movie, and it felt like 5 hours. It felt really way too long and too much. The story was just all over the place, the story. So, look, I'm just gonna say to this now. If, like I said, if you want to buy it and you want to watch it, fair enough. Maybe you like this movie, fair enough. But my recommendation would be don't waste your time on watching Lord of the Rings, the animated movie, because it is really, really bad in my opinion. Really bad indeed. And I will never watch it again. Never ever. So, let's get on to housekeeping anyway. So, housekeeping for this week. I've had a bit of a slow week this week, really, in regards to filming videos. I've not really filmed any videos this week. I kind of filmed a few weeks ago, and I've just been doing a lot of editing stuff this week. Getting a lot of like Monday videos out, like cutting up videos, and I've been recording another edition of my bonus podcast, what I do for Patreon, the Watch Order Task Force, and that's where it ties into me doing the Lord of the Rings. So I'm going to be doing one that comes out at the end of this month, and it is all about Middle Earth movies. So it's got like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, the animated movie, and it's just talking about what I think is the best movie to get like your first entry of Middle Earth to really appreciate it as a viewer. And it was a fun podcast to do. It's like a 30-minute podcast. If you want to check it out, you subscribe to my Patreon, check it out, and again, it's an extra. If you want it, it's there for you all. That's why I do these extra podcasts now. I was doing the comics for ages, and I wanted to add something else to you all on Patreon, so now I'm doing an extra, like a movie podcast every month, and it's going to vary over time. It's at the moment we got 2 editions of the Watch Order Task Force, but I'm going to over time and over this next year get different types of podcasts going on there, and different just fun podcasts about movies. They're all going to be movie based, but just different styles of formats of podcasts as well. So it's exciting, it's fun to do, and I was doing that this week as well, which was cool. So definitely, if you want to hear more of my content, check it out. Check out my Patreon page. I'm going to put up like a preview of it as well when it comes out at the end of the month on YouTube, so you can get a sort of a gist of what I'm putting out to you all. But anyway, I believe that is the end of today's edition of the Saturday movie show. So, I hope you enjoyed it. And look, I want to know what you think about these trailers that have dropped this week. Did you enjoy the Mortal Kombat trailer and the new Justice League Snyder cut trailer? What did you think of them? Do you think these movies are going to be good? What one are you looking forward to the most? Because I know, like I said at the start of this, the one I'm looking forward to the most is the Mortal Kombat movie. I think it's going to be amazing. The trailer looks kick-ass. Absolutely kick-ass. Looks amazing. But if you enjoyed this video today, please do give it a like. Your likes are always appreciated. It goes a long way into supporting the growth of this channel. Comment on the videos as well. Let me know all your thoughts. I really enjoy hearing all your comments on any type of video. It's always fun just interacting with you in the audience here, and I really enjoy this community we've got going here as well. It's awesome just talking about movies. As I said, movies, physical media, movies again. It's all fun. It's all fun, but let me know in the comments what you think of them trailers, and let me know in the comments as well, have you watched WandaVision? And have you watched the Lord of the Rings animated show? I want to know all your thoughts in the comments below. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys and girls. I hope you all have a lovely Saturday, a lovely Sunday as well, and I'll see you next Saturday.